how good is Jade in Fire Emblem Engage, and can she be used in a way where she actually contributes and is relevant on a Maddening run? So this is a General Jade build that I am currently working on for, I guess, like my 8th or 9th Maddening run, and I'm going to see how good we can make her. So here are the weapons that I'm running on Jade. Currently, she just has a tomahawk with Lucina for the increased accuracy. The weight reduction doesn't really matter, but increasing the hit on it makes it more consistent for enemy phasing. And then she also has a silver greataxe with Lyn for enemy phasing and one-shotting enemies on player phase. It also gains some crits, but really the might on this thing is so high that it usually one-shots anything that attacks her. So in this case, what I would like to do is use a tomahawk. Now I'm just missing 2 points or 1 point of damage, so I have to damage boost with the Leer here. But she generally will one-shot enemies with a tomahawk, which is pretty good. And she can tank on Ike, so you can see that she's taking 31 damage from this Thoron. But if I pop Ike and attack, she'll only take 15. So she definitely has higher res than Louis, and she kind of takes some time to get going, but she's still able to kill fairly consistently, even though she doesn't double. So even when hitting enemy armor, like we can see this dude has 33 defense, which is pretty high. On greataxe, she still has pretty high physical attack, so she'll still deal good damage with crit chance. Let's see how she does here. Nice. So she still did 27. That's not bad. That sets up a kill. And she could also player phase that. The Jade General update. So she is actually doing pretty well. Now obviously she has Ike. The Ike isn't super needed. I haven't been popping it. So she would just be 27 defense, which is enough where enemies will attack her and she'll tank most damage. So she mostly uses the silver greataxe, which as you can see here does huge damage and can pretty much one-shot most things outside of some bosses. And she doesn't even have the best strength. She can also enemy phase on tomahawk, which is pretty useful. So she has good damage, she has good durability. It's definitely not as good as other tank builds, like maybe even just Kagetsu on Wyvern, potentially. She is more tanky though. It's like, this is still early, this is chapter 14, so we'll see how she pans out long term. But if I can get this silver greataxe like +3 and maybe switch its engraving for something else, maybe Byleth engraving, because right now I'm just using this engraving for accuracy. So the crit isn't really what matters, and it reduces its damage by like 2 to 3. So if I switch to Byleth, the weight will increase, but it won't matter. So she'll have crit, hit, and more damage as a result. So that could help. And also as she levels up, she'll get more strength. But she has physical attack 59 this early, and she usually one-shots things on the silver greataxe. So we'll see how this scales long term. And she also usually one-shots enemy casters on the tomahawk, which is pretty nice, so she can initiate without taking magical damage. And of her and Louis, I prefer her because she has higher res. So far it's going pretty well. Okay, this is actually pretty solid. One-shotting an enemy unit that has pretty high defense. This dude has, well, I guess 13 isn't super high, but she can just one-shot this tomahawk. That's pretty good. This is an unpromoted enemy though, so we'll see how she does long term. Let's see how Jade does against these enemies. These are like super powered, basically over-leveled enemies that you're not supposed to kill, but if you prepare for them, you can easily kill them. So here's what she can do to them with her weapons. Now, because she has the Byleth, she has reduced incoming crits, so very unlikely she gets crit. She can always pop Ike to tank this. Alternatively, though, I do have a very fast Chloe that can just one-round. So I can just one-round this dance in one round. So just for some contrast. And here's also a Kagetsu. There's just a steel sword. He's level 4. Here's what he can do to this. So she's not even necessarily weak, to be honest. These enemies have pretty good defense, pretty good stats, and they're quite fast. She's not doubling anything anyways, but she can one-shot most of the things on this map with this weapon, except for these enemies. So for example, if we look at these guys over here, 21 defense, 46 health. So she's hitting 63, so she almost one-shots that guy, which isn't bad, considering she can enemy phase, tank, you know, the 38 easily. She can almost I think she can one-shot this one. Yeah, she can one-shot that one. She can one-shot these with Tomahawk. She could use Tomahawk, but she's going to be getting doubled. 33 magic attack versus her 12 res with half damage, and then you factor in resolve. She could potentially enemy phase like 3 to 4 of those mages on Tomahawk and kill them, so it's not bad. It's actually pretty... It's starting to turn out to be decent. I might have to use all my talismans on her to keep her res high, but this is turning out to be okay. And then if I get her axe power 5, which is expensive and you can only really run so many of them, it could turn out to be not like an S tier build, but like a low A tier build that allows you to run Jade. So definitely some potential. But that's it for this one. I just wanted to go over this Jade build. I'll do a follow-up as I enter late mid-game to end-game, and I'll do that for all of these builds so we can see where they stack up. But this Chloe build is definitely pretty stupid. She just one-rounds the dude if all this hits. Kind of simplifies. Hey, look at this. She just one-rounds those. Those are pretty tough enemies too. They do have lower res than defense by quite a bit. So yeah, definitely like and subscribe if you enjoy these unit build videos. Feel free to drop a comment as to what you think about it, if there's ways to improve it, if you use Jade in a different way, and I'll see you in the next one.